So I lied. 2 of the last 3 videos have been longer than 3 minutes. And I told you there were 3 videos, and here we are at the 4th video, which I'm going to try to not make longer than 3 minutes, but who am I kidding, right? In this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about the work that we're doing in the urban areas in Guatemala City and what I got to experience while I was there last week. The urban program is geared toward teens and young adults, and similar to the United States, that is a people group that feels like its voice is not heard, feels like it doesn't have a seat at the table. But unlike here, there are fewer opportunities afforded this group of young people. So our work in the urban areas of Guatemala has to do more with who can we partner with community-wise to provide a seat at the table and to provide a voice for this people group, and more importantly, what opportunities can we make available to them so that the frustration of not being heard and the frustration of lack of opportunity doesn't translate into violence, crime, and anger and frustration. And so we spent some time meeting with other community groups, including some pastors of some really great churches, as well as some community leaders. They call them cocodes, which are essentially the councils of each individual neighborhood or colonia within the greater urban area. And the idea is, let's begin to provide training and education and opportunity so that these young folks can become engaged in the community, so that they can be leaders in their community, so that they can have greater access to educational opportunities and employment opportunities, so that the pull of these gang syndicates isn't the best alternative for them. My favorite thing that I got to do while in the city was last Sunday. We did a one-day youth retreat with a group of kids from the colonia El Limon. And El Limon is a very dangerous area in the city. It's a place where I think that the gangs and the gang, kind of the gang syndicates, they've got a pretty heavy influence there, and it's not a place where you can really move around after dark because it's not safe. And so you've got these young people, these groups of young people who, the pressure to conform and be a part of gangs is a safer and more economically advantaged alternative than going to school, trying to do the right things. And so this particular group of kids has created an amazing community where they support each other, and where Hector and the adult volunteers nurture them and love them and support them, and it gives them the ability to make different choices than the choices that a lot of their friends and peers are making. And so we spent Sunday at a retreat. The theme of the retreat was courage, courageous, and the theme verse was Joshua 1:9. This is my command, be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God. Whoops, I missed it. This is my command, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And the 3 main themes we talked about during the day were that we need to believe bravely. We need to believe that what God says is true, that we can follow that instead of following the voices of our peers and the predominant voices in our culture. Second is that we've got to listen bravely. Listening to what God has to say requires being still. It requires shutting out those voices of our culture around us. It means being willing to believe God's promises and then follow after them. And then the third theme was to live bravely. And we looked at when Peter stepped out of the boat and took a couple of steps walking on water because he made the choice to keep his eyes on Jesus. And then when he faltered and started sinking, Jesus was there to save him. But living bravely means not being defined by the times that we sink and the times that we fail, but returning our eyes back to Jesus and living in a way that he can make a difference in our lives. And one of the things we talked about was, what is the thing that you're most afraid of? And we wrote that down, and we kind of went back to that throughout the day. And then at the end of the day, we took that paper out and we burned it. And the burning was us saying, we're not going to be defined by the things that we're afraid of. We're not going to be defined by the things that we failed at. Instead, we're going to choose to believe God's promises and to listen after him and to live bravely in this community where it can be dangerous, in this community where being from El Limon means sometimes I can't get a job or I can't get a loan just because of where I'm from. And just spending the day with these courageous and amazing kids, I think it had a bigger impact on me than it did on them. And I can't wait to get back to visit them again. I'm sorry that this video has gone so long, but I thank you guys so much for watching. I thank you for your partnership, because you're right here doing this work with me. Without your support, I wouldn't be able to do it, and therefore you share in this, the fruit of this work. And I hope that you're sharing in the excitement of the work. And I hope that in the coming months, as we do more, that you take ownership, that it is us doing it. It's not me doing it. It's not Hunger Relief doing it. It's all of us doing it. And I thank you for that. And